I've been working on a lot of mainstream projects
Like
right
what?
now. I just shot a pilot for a reality show that I can't talk a whole lot about. That's huge. And then I just started a YouTube channel
Really?
called Two Russians, One America. And it's with my counterpart, who's the true, authentic Russian one. I'm only half Russian, so which actually was kind of crazy to do because now with all the stuff going on with Ukraine,
Right.
then people are so like racist towards Russian
Oh
people
yeah, we
now.
have to stomp out Russia.
It's crazy, yeah. So just being Russian, they should see my DMs are wild.
We have a Russian guy who was working here for a while, and we consider him to essentially be an agent of Putin.
Yeah, that's everybody does. I mean, we all are.
Well, I think
mean,
he actually
wink,
is,
wink.
yeah.
Wink, wink.
Right.
I had a stroke last year, so I'm a stroke survivor. And then I did a movie and a showcase, an adult showcase DVD after that called The Exploitation of Misha, Montana, and that was nominated for every single major award show last year for Best Feature.
Right.
And I actually did a sex scene 2 weeks after I was out of the hospital with a heart monitor on because I had a full heart surgery after that. And that was nominated for sex scene of the year. So we're turning that into a mainstream documentary at the moment.
What
too.
motivated you to continue to do porn immediately after having a stroke and before a heart transplant or whatever you said?
It was I had a PFO, so I had a hole closed in my heart because I got a clot that traveled to my brain through the hole.
So
in
this
my
just
heart.
happened randomly, or did you have a pre-existing condition?
I didn't. Well, the heart was the pre-existing condition, but the clot came from the vaccine. The COVID vaccine.
Really?
So, which is controversial, right? Which
Right.
is so stupid because obviously I got the vaccine in the first place, so I wasn't anti-vax.
Right.
So now I've got people being like, oh, you're anti-vax and you're talking shit about the vaccine. Not at all. It's just that's what happened. So after I got the clot, it shot up to my brain. I had a full-blown stroke. And I did the comeback scene just because I wanted to like prove a point to myself, and because I didn't know if I was going to be able to perform again. I lost the whole right side of my face and my hand and my arm, and my biggest thing when I first had a stroke was like, what am I going to do about work if I can't use my mouth or my hand? Or I mean, really, it sounds stupid to people, but it's like, as a performer, how am I going to use my mouth?
Right. I mean, you got to pay the bills.
Yeah, it's like
It's not like you're like, oh, I just need to jerk people off. It's like this is a job.
it's my
too.
business. Yeah, like it'd be a bummer either way, but I had to prove a point to myself and to everybody else that I could do it. So, and it actually was really well received. So,
Were the studios concerned about this and the liability that they might be taking on?
I was concerned about that at first because telling people about it initially, they're probably like, we don't want this girl to have another stroke on set or a heart attack. And my risk of having a heart attack and stroke in the first year was really, really high.
Right.
So I didn't have any issue with it for the most part. I don't think. There might have been some that I wasn't aware of.
Right.
But I think it's a legitimate concern for people. The problem is, I mean, it's not a problem. I guess it's a blessing. I don't look like I had a stroke for the most part anymore.
No.
So people forget about it too. They're like, oh, she had a stroke. I forgot. Because I recovered so quickly.
But this is the thing: is like, it might be a liability where you might have a further attack or whatever. But isn't that primarily going to happen if you yourself are just like really amped up and full of adrenaline during the scene? I mean, if you've done this a million times, then.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of like riding a bike, right? If you just like get into motion and do it. And I didn't have a stroke. The reason I had the stroke when I did was because I was engaging in activity at the time.
What?
Cocaine.
Coke?
No.
Crack?
Anal.
No.
Meth.
I don't
Meth.
do anal.
Oh.
No. No drugs. No
Oh,
drugs.
Jinx, you open your soda. I know.
Meth. You own some meth.
No, what were you doing?
Yeah, what happened?
Bang
well,
energy?
Actually, I haven't ever told anyone what I was doing when I had a stroke, so if you want me to exclusively give that to you, I can.
Of course.
Let's
We're
do
all
it.
about
This
information.
is an exclusive. I actually kept it a secret for a year because I was having sex at the time that I had a stroke.
Ah.
And no one knew it. And I was having sex with someone who's a high-profile athlete.
Oh.
And
And you're not going to tell us who.
I can't tell you yet.
Okay.
Or they're
But
white or
just
black?
that information, white actually, which is unusual for me. 'Cause usually I prefer
Basketballer or NFLer?
neither.
Chris Mullen.
Oh, okay.
No?
Well, a high-profile
Good guess.
athlete, like, right? Like,
I
if
mean-
not an NBA player or
Hall
an
of
NFL
Famer?
player, it don't count.
Current or like a coach?
It's a motocross world.
Woo!
Okay,
Carry
that's his
Hart.
world.
I'll give you that. No,
Twitch.
no, that would be cool though.
I only know a couple of them.
But no, that was like part of it too. So, but I was having sex. That's how I knew that I was having a stroke, because I couldn't talk.
Right.
And I was like, and he thought I was like on drugs,
Right.
you know, or something too, because it's like, especially because of what we do for a living, people just automatically assume that you're fucked up on something.
Was there anything special about the dick that gave you a stroke, or was it just kind of
He was
right
fucking
place,
me
right time?
so hard that I felt like my brain was like, like rattling against my skull, which is interesting when I have sex with people that are not in the industry, and like, it's like they really want to impress you. So they're trying to just bang the life out of you kind of thing.
Blow your back out.
Yeah. And
Wait though, so after the stroke, I'm assuming like you were kind of like lifeless. Like, was he still fucking the shit out of you when you were like?
we had sex again after that, because I didn't
no,
realize.
No,
I
but
was
during
having
it,
Yeah.
Oh,
w-
during.
did he have to stop?
He didn't know.
Until he was done, or
Yeah, until we were done, and I was like, because I noticed it right away, but he didn't notice it, and then I came around and I was like, something's like wrong with my face is completely numb and like droops out. Like if you look at stroke people survivors that have drooped faces, and a lot of the time it like remains, it's permanent.
So you just went straight to the hospital, or what?
I didn't. I actually waited overnight, which is something you should not do.
Right.
I'm lucky because I was 2.5 hours away from, I live in Reno, Nevada.
Oh wow.
So I was out in like Reno's already kind of the boonies of the
Yeah.
world. And then I was in the boonies of the boonies, and I had to I drove myself back 2.5 hours to the hospital.
Wow.
So, and that's also frowned upon.
Why do you live in Reno?
I love Reno. I was born in Reno.
Really?
And my son, I like raised him in Reno. He has cerebral palsy.
Oh, wow.
And he's 5, and I don't want him to
travel.
to be in LA. He's actually with me right now, but it's just LA is like brutal anyway, and I just don't want him to be exposed to that. So I
Okay.
travel back and forth. Like I'm on a plane every couple days.
But I would assume Reno's kind of gnarly in general.
It's really not that bad.
Really?
No, I mean there's some pockets for sure. You can find it, but
It seemed
it's
quite
not too bad.
sketchy when I was there.
Was it? Were you downtown?
Well, yeah, like the whole.
Always,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I didn't go exploring the deep cuts. We were just kind of in the main.
Right.
area.
Well, but that's with Reno. The only problem is it's a 24-hour town like Vegas is.
Yeah.
And so like when I go out and drink with people, it's always like impressive to me, just like the level that they're on with their drinking, and everybody stops at like 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever the cutoff is everywhere. We keep going till 6, 7, 8,
In
9
Reno.
a.m. Yeah.
Even after the stroke, you kept drinking.
I actually started drinking more.
Why?
Which
Wow.
was
Daredevil.
that was also again not a good idea. I was super depressed after it, and I just kind of turned to drinking, and I was just drinking like way too much.
Right.
So I had to cool it on.
Because
drinking
what are you
sober.
really going to do in Reno otherwise, right?
Exactly, it's boring in Reno for the most part.
I would definitely probably be an alcoholic if I lived there as well.
Yeah, most people become alcoholics in those kind of environments. So
Right.
Okay, guys, this was a clip from the No Jumper Patreon. If you want to watch it in full, where they get naked and all this other crazy stuff, head on over patreon.com/nojumper and check it out in full. We drop a new one every week.